If you've ever felt unsure about leading a meeting in English, don't worry, you're in the right place. And stick around because today we're diving into the secret skills that make discussion leaders stand out. Let me tell you about Michelle. Michelle was a bright team leader at an international company, but in group discussions, she really struggled. She either talked too much or not enough. And her international teammates didn't always follow her ideas, and meetings felt chaotic. One day she told me, I want people to listen when I speak and feel heard when they speak. So we worked on a few key English phrases and techniques, and within a month, she wasn't just leading meetings, she was leading conversations, drawing people in, keeping things on track, and making everyone feel like a real team. So, what changed? It wasn't about speaking more, it was about speaking better and listening smarter. And if you've ever been in a group meeting and thought, whew, I hope they don't ask me to lead this meeting, you're not alone. Leading a discussion in English doesn't mean having all the answers. It means knowing how to guide people, and you can absolutely learn to do it. The biggest mistake I see is people think leading means controlling, that it's their job to talk the most, to give the final word, or make sure everyone agrees with them. But real leadership in conversation is about guiding. Take Michelle, for example. Early on, she felt she had to prove herself by dominating the conversation, but all she did was shut people down. When she switched to asking open questions and inviting others to share, her team actually started listening and engaging. And so she'd ask things like, what do you think is missing here? Or can someone share a different view on this? That simple shift turned her meetings from a one-woman show into true discussions. Leadership in conversation is about asking thoughtful questions, connecting people's ideas, and making sure everyone has a voice. All right. So you can do it too. Try openers like, let's get started. Today we're discussing whatever the topic is. Or you could say, to begin, I'd like to hear your thoughts on, and then name a topic. Or let's go around and share our first impressions. This will help you keep your meetings on schedule and on task, but also ensures everyone gets a voice. All right. Now, you want to make sure you keep the conversation moving. As the conversation moves forward, your job is to keep it flowing. You don't need all the ideas. You just help others to share theirs. That's one of the keys of leadership. It's not about what you know. It's about knowing what everyone else knows. So Michelle noticed that after asking better openers, her team started responding. And they sometimes would pause, unsure what to say. So instead of rushing in, she would ask something like, can you ask, or can you say a little more about that? Or, oh, that's interesting. Can you give an example? Follow-up questions help ideas unfold naturally. So you can try asking, can you say more about that? What do others think about this point? Or let's explore that idea a bit further. Those are some really useful phrases to remember. All right. I want you to remember that silence doesn't mean someone has nothing to say. They may just be waiting for a moment to jump in or for someone to ask. Michelle told me about one of her teammates, Aiko. She rarely spoke in meetings, and instead of assuming she had nothing to contribute, Michelle asked Aiko, what's your view on this? Aiko's answer shifted the entire conversation, and you can do the same thing. Listen actively. Invite people to speak. You could say, I'd love to hear your perspective, Aiko or Jim. You could say, what's your experience with this, Steve or Tom or whoever you're talking to? Let's make sure everyone has a chance to speak. Those are all very powerful phrases for this. All right. Now, sometimes enthusiasm, especially as you get your people talking more often, enthusiasm leads the group off topic. That's okay, But part of your job as the leader is to gently steer them back on track. Michelle told me about a time she noticed her team was veering into a passionate debate that wasn't relevant. And so she said, "That's really interesting. And I think we should explore it later. But for now, let's refocus our main goal." And her team appreciated that. It brings everyone back to balance. So you can use that same expression. "Oh, that's interesting. But let's come back to the main question." Or, "I think we may be getting off track. Let's refocus." And finally, let's return to our goal for this discussion. Remember, your job is to keep everyone on track. So, what's the big idea? Leading a discussion is about helping others to shine. It's about creating a space where everyone feels like their input matters. When you do that, people start to trust you. They listen more closely, they speak more freely, and you become the kind of leader who lifts the whole team. And these are not just English skills. These are human skills. They work in any language. But in English, they show something extra. They show confidence, empathy, and professionalism. Here is your challenge for the day. Use one of today's phrases in your next team meeting or study group or any kind of group chat. Even just saying, "Let's hear from everyone," can make a big difference. And if this talk has helped you, give it a like and subscribe, and check out the full article at allaboutenglishmastery.com. Sign up for the newsletter too. It's full of practical English tools you can use right away.